It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time. Isn't that how it goes?
You actually got the tune wrong. It's the most wonderful time. And I'm Jewish, dude.
So am I.
Evidently so.
I'm an honorary tribesman. Yes.
Is that Colt Cabana's doing?
Well,
or many people in Shy.
Paul, Colt,
oh yeah,
Kelly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is really the holy trinity of Jews in the wrestling business.
It is nowadays. Yes, those are the three people I look to for all my counsel.
Kelly is really a queen of our people.
Yeah.
I tried to, when she first got popping and I found out she was Jewish, I tried to push her to every place. She needs to be the face. When people say Jewish woman, it's a picture of Barbie blank. That's what you should see. So Punk, are you used to this yet? Another WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Big match. Feels normal to you.
What is this? My 7th?
No.
Man, I'm old.
No, that makes me feel old. That you're already at your 7th. You're still new.
And there's guys on the card that have had. Yeah, I mean, I'm fighting Undertaker. He's been at 20 of these.
20 of these.
You know what I mean? And I'm going, this is my 7th one.
But 7th, but when you look historically, that's something people haven't pointed out. With all the accolades, holding the title for as long as you did, not 7 manias is a lot of manias.
Yep.
That's a good amount. I mean,
to me, yeah.
King Kong Bundy, I think, got 3.
I think the average career in the WWE is it's got to be 3 years. That's it.
7.
You're out the door.
You are now, in my opinion, in the place of, you'll always be in the top few guys in the company as long as you're active. Is that how it feels? Do you feel like you're in the spot?
I never feel that way. No.
You always feel like you have to keep.
I always feel like every Monday night I got to go out there and I got to earn my keep and I got to prove somebody wrong. Unfortunately, that I belong at the top.
The last time I saw you, you had the title, and you were sort of the accidental favorite. I mean, you were the rebel, but everyone loved you. Since then, not quite as popular as you were at that time. Not quite as popular. You seemed like you wanted to be doing what you're doing now. Do you love being hated as much as you are?
Yes, absolutely.
So this storyline must be the ultimate for you because you just get to be gratuitous now.
My job is to get people pissed off and be as disrespectful as I possibly can.
Does it ever annoy you? I wonder about this. Does it ever annoy you when smart fans cheer you when they're supposed to be booing you?
It doesn't annoy me so much. They pay a ticket. They pay their money to see us. And they can do whatever they want.
So however they feel it fit to cheer or not cheer, you're okay with.
Yeah.
I always feel like, when you're a wrestling fan who thinks that you're smart and you're like, I'm cooler than everyone else who's here because I know more. I always found, at first, when I first started going to events all the time, I would find myself cheering for the bad guy and doing these sort of obligatory smart mark things to do.
Right.
Then as time went on, I was like, if I love what this person's doing, I feel like I'm contributing I'm booing.
I see that school of thought, but no, it doesn't.
You don't care one way or the other. You're fine getting cheered.
No. Yeah, as long as they're really loud, I don't care what they're doing.
Do you feel like you were born to be in a different era?
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
I do. I say that all the time. I always say I was born 20 years late.
Because you could have gotten... because I know you. You're. The funny thing is you're not a loose cannon, but you have a little loose cannon streak in you, too.
I can be, I suppose. I need to be.
You're not the dude. You're sort of like, you know what you are? You're like Back to the Future. You're like Marty McFly. Like, when anyone would say to Marty McFly, what was the line to Marty McFly? Chicken. Yeah. I feel like if someone calls you chicken...
Nobody calls me chicken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would do anything. Risk the future if someone calls you chicken.
Yep. No, and I've had a lot of old school guys I respect a lot, like Pat Patterson. Without me ever saying, I've always felt like I'm kind of out of place. And just Pat was like, oh, man, I'd love to wrestle. Me and you could have worked and made so much money together. Like, I wish you were around 20 years ago.
Is it true that was there a conversation with Taker where you knew you were going to be the guy? And because that was the word out there, is that he's always seen you as one of those guys and as this old school guy. Was that a conversation that ever happened, or did they just give you the call like, hey, this is what's going on?
No, I mean, I knew that was on the table pretty much because I knew where we were going with Rock and John and all that. And I knew I needed something big after being champ for so long. You know what I mean? And really the only thing that wasn't like kind of a drop down the card would be wrestling Taker, But there was concern about, his health and all that other stuff. But I don't buy into rumors and I just go straight to the source. So I just, just asked him and cleared it all up.
What was Raw like that day? Or I guess it wasn't Raw. I guess it happened after Raw. So whenever the next time when you guys all got together, while you're in the midst of the storyline, you find out that Paul Bearer passed away. What's that moment like?
God, I can't even remember where I was. I think it happened right after maybe one of our TV shows, or it happened on the weekend. Or
No, I think it was Tuesday night or something like that. That the word came out.
I mean, it sucked, but I kind of had a feeling that it was dumb luck. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I wish Percy was still with us, but like, I knew as soon as I heard, I was like, all right, we're probably gonna wind up doing something. And I originally I didn't want anything to do with it. I in my mind, I was like, nah, whatever they pitched to me, I'm not gonna want to do it. Let me just me and Taker straight up.
Which you could have done, and that still would have
And then
worked.
I showed up in Indianapolis, and both of Paul Bearer's sons were there, and like I had a long talk with them, and and I was like, all right, I'm on board, because they were totally on board. And people who have known Percy since before they were in the business, somebody like Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes and him would go to shows together before they were both in the business. So he explained to me that Percy would love this. He would love that the entire 3-hour Raw was dedicated to him with clips and all that other stuff. And I was on board then.
Yeah, I from the beginning I didn't understand why people got bent out of shape about it. I thought it was clearly a tribute to him. But also, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. My favorite wrestling moment in the last, maybe since the last thing you did, maybe since the promo. And I don't even consider myself I consider myself a big fan of yours and like a fan of you as a person. I think you're a cool dude. But I don't consider myself a super CM Punk mark. But now that I look back at the last few years, my favorite moments oft have been yours. Since the promo, the moment when you took the urn, and as it happens, I'm watching with my friend who hasn't watched wrestling for years, and he's just watching me geek out. I'm like, oh my God, he's taking the urn to WrestleMania. Like, he's taking the urn right now, and this is what we're doing for the next month. Yes, like, it gave me that old school feeling of like, he's going to have this in his hand. And I just, like, that moment when you come out and hit him with the urn, not only did you attack him from behind, but the fact that it was with the urn was just such disrespect.
Yeah.
Such pure disrespect. It was just such a great moment. When a lot of people said, oh, it was unnecessary, CM Punk doesn't need that heat, I was like, I don't understand you could say it. How you could say that.
What do they know? I don't understand.
No one knows anything. They're always just babbling. But it is a fun but nerds do have fun conversations. It is a fun conversation to have.
Sure. But is it cheap heat? Is it really cheap heat? You know what I mean? Like, people
It's
say
kind of
that,
the most authentic heat.
People say that to me all the time, but they don't know. And this is my biggest problem with the so-called fans and stuff like that. Like, they have these words in their lexicon that they read on the internet from someone else, like Meltzer or something like that, and they use them out of context. They have no idea what it means. You know what I mean? And I actually I said this to one of our writers one time. They said something like, "Oh, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to get heat." And I said, "Stop! No,
that's not how it."
I said, "You don't even know what that word means. You have no idea what that word means." And these people run around and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't need to do this," and Paul Bearer, it's disrespectful and it's just cheap heat, and it's not. You don't know what heat is. You don't know what cheap heat is. Shut the fuck up and watch the show.
Well said.
Thank you.
Couldn't say any better. I want to do two things. One, good luck. I'm excited about WrestleMania. I think
luck is for losers.
Well said.
All right.
But I think you guys end up having the match of the night. That's my hunch. Not that that's a hard money to put on a Taker match at WrestleMania, but I think that I just think
we'll see.
Physically, I like the way you guys match up. I'm weird about that. Like, people's body types and matches. I just feel like you guys look like it'll be a cool match.
Well, hopefully it will be. And there's
don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up though.
There's some other matches on the card that have some bells and whistles, like
you have it, but it is your night with Taker,
right?
Does that ever cross your mind? Like, I'm the guy who screws up the tombstone at WrestleMania. I'm the guy who, like, there's, you know what I'm saying? There's these things that they have to happen.
No, nothing.
Doesn't ever cross your mind.
Like that crosses
God, I'm
mind.
gonna figure out what it's like to be a winner one day.